Hello and welcome to the channel. I just wanted to go over quick all the tools I use to magnetize and build my models, and then go into a little more depth on the magnets I'm using. First thing you need is a pair of hobby cutters. You want to make sure that the backside is flat. This will leave less cleanup after clipping your Mini off the sprue. This will also enable you to get a much cleaner cut. Lots of the cutters you can find at hardware stores have like a beveled edge at the cutting blade. You want to avoid these as they will leave more cleanup for you after clipping the miniatures off the sprue, and you won't be able to cut at as much of a right angle or a squared angle with these type of cutters. They will still work, it just won't be as clean of a cut. You won't be able to get into as tight of spaces. But if it's all you can find, you can make do with these. Next thing you need is going to be a hobby knife or a hobby scalpel. I have two that I just kind of acquired over the years. Lost one, bought a second one, found the original one again, but you only need one. Since I have two, I try to keep a sharp blade in one and then a duller rough blade in the other. You don't buy dull rough blades, they just turn that way over time. So my sharper knife I'll use for finer finesse details like cleaning mold lines or cleaning up the little sprue bits from where you cut it off. And the duller one I'll use for like everything else. So when I might get super glue on it from using it to stick the magnets in, I'll use the duller or bad blade. If I'm cutting Milliput, if I'm doing kind of anything stupid, I'll use the duller blade. You can still do this with just one knife handle. You just have to swap the blade in and out, which isn't a big deal. I also have a utility knife or a box cutter or an X-Acto blade that I use for the much larger things. A regular old Sharpie and a ruler will also come in handy. I prefer these stainless steel metal rulers, but you can use whatever ruler you like. The plastic cement I prefer to work with these days is Tamiya extra thin cement. I have two bottles. One I made into sprue goo, which is basically you cut up bits of sprue and you put them in the bottle and you wait for them to dissolve, and then it turns almost into like a liquid plastic. It bonds plastic models way stronger than just the cement alone and can be used to fill gaps or cracks during the model building. The bottle on screen right now is the sprue goo. It's the gray color, and then this bottle here is just a new extra thin cement, super clear, super liquidy. I also like to use it in some applications. The super glue I prefer to use is BSI or Bob Smith Industries. I like a thicker super glue since I haven't found any that come with an applicator brush like the Tamiya cement. And I hate when the runny super glue runs down the model. Once it dries, it leaves that white crusty residue. I really hate that, so I like thicker super glue. So on the left we have the pink stuff, which is extra thick, and the purple stuff on the right is a medium thickness. I also use this little cutting mat, so I'm not damaging my table if I need to press down onto something. There is multiple kinds of two-part modeling epoxy. I prefer to use Milliput. It's just softer than green stuff, which is another popular one. But they're both the same. Basically, you cut equal parts of both halves of the epoxy, you mix them together, and you have like a 3-hour working time or 2 hours, and then they're supposed to be hard after 3. But yeah, I prefer Milliput. It's softer and easier to work with than green stuff. As for magnets, I tried to do my shopping locally. I couldn't really find the sizes or the quantities I really wanted, so I ended up having to go to Amazon to get some, but I'm trying to find another provider that isn't Amazon. Some of the magnets I did order off Amazon aren't available from those sellers anymore, but basically you just need to search neodymium magnet type in your measurements and hit search, and there's still some available through Amazon if you have trouble finding them as well. I know Magnet Baron is very popular in the States. I'll have to look into their shipping and see how much it is for them to ship it to Canada. These are the largest magnets I currently have. I got them from Michael's Craft Store, and they were about like $8 for 6, so not the cheapest way to buy larger magnets, but I wanted some for a different project, and I ended up using them in the Hive Tyrant arm sockets, and they worked really well there. These magnets are 7mm by 3mm. These magnets I got off Amazon. They're 6 by 2mm, and I use them for the arm side of the Hive Tyrant guns and the Tyrannofex guns. And actually I use those for the Tyrannofex melee weapons as well. These magnets are 5 by 1mm. I got them off Amazon as well, and I use them for some of the lighter melee weapons on the Hive Tyrant, so the Lash Whip and the Bone Sword, for the hip joints on the Hive Tyrant as well, and for the head of the Tyrannofex and the Hive Tyrant. These, you guessed it, I got these off Amazon as well. They are 3mm by 1mm magnets. I haven't used them in any of the videos I've made yet, but they are a lot more useful for small vehicles and infantry models. These are currently the smallest magnets I have. They are 2 by 1mm magnets. Also got them off Amazon, and also pretty much only used for infantry, and more specifically like arms or heads, if for some reason you want to have an alternate head for a character or a custom character you have built. In order to find out what drill bit I need to use for the size of magnet I want to use, I just look up this chart, and as you can see, it has a lot of good references, fractional sizes, millimeter sizes, so it's really handy. I will leave a link in the description. As you can see, the very top line, 5/64 is 1.984 millimeters. It's the closest fractional drill bit size to 2mm, so I just use that. Same thing, 1/8 isn't exactly 3mm, but it's the closest fractional drill bit size you can get. The pin vise I use, which is basically a manual operated tiny little drill, is a Zona. I just got it at a hobby shop. It wasn't that expensive. I will leave a link to something similar on Amazon. I'm not saying you should buy from Amazon, but just so you have an idea of what you're looking for. As for drill bits, I have this pack of Zona extremely small drill bits. They go from 0.3mm to 1.6mm. I really only use these for drilling gun barrels or pinning stuff if I feel compelled to pin something. For drill bits bigger than that, I just would go with the cheapest drill bits you can find. I got these Mastercraft ones on sale at Canadian Tire, but you could get them at any big wholesaler. You don't need to buy this many. I can use these for work, so I didn't mind buying some extra, but if you just want to buy one of each of the bigger ones, you'd save some money. If not, wait till they go on sale and buy a big pack of them. And that is it. Leave any questions, concerns, criticisms down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any ideas of kits you want magnetized or you want some suggestions, let me know again in the comments. Again, please like and subscribe, and I will leave links to everything in the video, and I'll try to leave the links in the order that things are appearing in the video. So thank you so much. Bye.